Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Dave's Faves, the new series in which I'm going to tell you what my personal favorite recordings are and why I think that way. And you can tell me if you agree or if you've heard them or if you haven't, you may want to. And now, for my second, this is number 2 in the series, although it doesn't really matter what order they're in, does it? But I will number them. I'm going to number them, but I'm not going to tell you what composers they are because I think you have to watch the video. I mean, I will in the description, but it's so much more fun this way to discover some music and some recordings, and you can figure out the inner workings of my brain to the extent that the inner workings are still inner and still working, which I really can't attest to. Well, it's Earquake, which I've talked about before. Some of you have actually purchased it based on my recommendation. This was a disc that I produced, so I am shamelessly plugging it. I'll tell you how this came about, though. It was really very interesting. Me and my very, very, very good friend decided to do this. It was my very good friend was Dr. Sören Meyer-Eller in Munich, who at the time was the editor of Phonoforum magazine. And we had become quite friendly with the the managing director and founder of Ondine Records in Finland, whose name is Reijo Kiilunen. Wonderful guy, just a wonderfully musical human being and a good businessman and just a terrific person. And, we wanted to do a project. The reason we wanted to do a project is because both of us were just sick to death of stupid, crappy compilations. And we figured we could do our own stupid, crappy compilation. We could do one that's even better than the other stupid, crappy compilations. And we think we did it. We wanted to do something that would really be kind of a head-banging, crazy project. And that project turned out to be Earquake. We wanted to make the world's loudest classical music album because there were all kinds of them, but they had all the same stuff. They had stuff like, in the Hall of the Mountain King and A Night on Bald Mountain. And okay, it was exciting. It was okay. But it wasn't really that, really loud stuff. And not only that, we also had a didactic purpose because we wanted to do a collection that was not only, fun by itself, but that featured lots and lots of lesser known music, stuff that people didn't hear every day, and stuff that would, and a disc that would serve as almost a kind of playlist or survey of some of the funnest contemporary music works by some composers who were familiar and some who were not. And all of that went into our planning, and we just, we have, the record collection. So we just started taking things out and playing them. And we came up with this. And then we needed a label and someone who would do it. And Ondine went for it. And they went for it in a big way. They went for it in the most wonderful way. And I've told this story before, but I'll do it again because it was fun. They got Segerstam to conduct, and he was the perfect guy to conduct this stuff because, as you all know, he is completely out of his mind, and he's willing to do just about anything, usually as long as something of his gets included, and so something of his was included. And it was so much fun. And they did first a live concert in Helsinki in Finlandia Hall. And then we did the actual recording session in which I made my Helsinki Philharmonic debut as special guest anvil soloist in Jan Leif's Hekla, the Volcano piece that required 22 percussionists, and one of them was missing. They were doing Salome at the opera that night, which required 9 percussionists. There weren't enough percussionists in Helsinki, and they needed someone to do the anvils, and they knew I was a percussionist, and so I went and did it. And I'm on the recording, and it was so much fun. Oh my God, was it fun. So I have so many fond memories of the project and of the production and of everything about it, choosing the repertoire. I mean, that's why it's one of my favorite discs. So, I'm not saying this to promote it in that sense. Well, I am. I mean, I think everyone in the universe should own it. But beyond that, it's obviously a favorite. And I'm going to play you a sample of something here. Let me tell you what's on it, and then I'll play you a sample. You get and these are excerpts of things, which is okay. It's a compilation album. Howard Hanson's Sixth Symphony, the finale of that, and Invocatio. Oh, Invocatio. That's Ture Rangström's Fourth Symphony. I think it's his Fourth Symphony. It's got an organ in it. Oh, it's quite something. Just marvelous. And let's see, Cacciatorian Mountaineers from one of those ballet things, Gania or Spartacus or one of those things. And the opening of the Scythian Suite and a bit of Druckmann's Prism. Magnificent work. Jacob Druckmann was fantastic in orchestration. And it's based on Cavalli. It's based on early music on the Medea legend by 3 Baroque composers. And one of the reasons that we put these in was to have little quiet interludes, but that were of sort of really interesting music. And then we get La Noche de los Mayas, the end of that piece by Revueltas, and a bit of Aladdin, the final dance in this case, by Nielsen, and the Malambo from Estancia by Hinestera, and the Weapon Dance from Ogallala by Schulhoff, which is really wild. It's an incredible piece. It's based on a tune that's done about 4 notes. Every possible permutation of the same 4 notes for about half an hour. It's quite the thing, with tons of percussion. And then we have Nostalgic Thoughts, which is by Segerstam. And so that was his contribution to the proceedings. And then the finale of William Bolcom's Fifth Symphony, Machine, which is really cool. I mean, it's really, really cool. And Iber's Bacchanal, and Respighi's The War Dance from Belkis, Queen of Sheba, which is quite the experience. And the Shostakovich Can from the Golden Age. Wow, what a great piece that is. I played the whole thing for you in my video on Shostakovich's The Golden Age. What an incredible piece that is. That's the longest thing, second longest thing on here anyway. It's 6 minutes. And then we put in a bit of Angel of Light by Radovara, his 7th Symphony. So we could have another little interlude before the grand finale, which was Jan Leif's Hekla, the Volcano. 9 minutes. This is still the best recording ever of Hekla. There have only been 2 others. And wow, with 22 percussionists and a chorus and a organ and rifle shots and cannon going off and chains rattling. And oh my God, what a piece. What a piece that is. I blew up a pair of speakers playing it. It was so much fun. But what I want to play you a little bit is the Ture Rangström, Invocatio, a bit of his 4th Symphony. It's really such a lovely, lovely work. And it's the second movement. And it really, I mean, Rangström is a wonderful composer. His symphonies are beautiful. And I want to just give you a little bit of it. So here it is. That was the Helsinki Philharmonic under Leif Segerstam doing a bit of Ture Rangström's 4th Symphony, Invocatio, or Invocatio, or however you want to pronounce it. It's really, really marvelous on Earquake, the disc produced by moi. What can I tell you? I mean, it was just, is there any question that it was going to be one of my faves? One of Dave's faves. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm putting this sucker away. Go get your Earquake, Get things rocking, such as they are. I mean, Hekla actually has rocks. And specifically, they're supposed to be rocks from Hekla, volcanic rocks that you hit with, hammers. But you have to be careful because lava is brittle and the hammers can break it. You could wind up with powder when you're done if you're not careful. Anyway, yes, there we are. I'll see you later.